Did you see what Anna was doing there?
Yes, I did. I'm so not going to mess with that girl
What do you
after
mean?
this.
You guys are like best friends. I see you hanging. I'm not messing with you or her anymore. I'm sure she's told you about the class.
Yeah,
and
she's
you're
going to share
probably-
some tips with me now.
All right, our careers expert from Bayt.com, Peggy Chamoun, is with us here today. And today we're talking about the mistakes that often stand in between job seekers and their dream jobs. Peggy, welcome back.
Thank you, Marwan.
Good to see you.
So it is very difficult these days to find the right job. Why is it taking people so long to find it?
It's a matter of preparing and knowing where to research and what to research and what actually needs to be prepared in terms of documents, preparation, presentation. So let's first talk about, the CV.
Okay.
So the CV sometimes, misses the mark. And what we mean by that is the professionalism of it and the personal aspect of it. So a CV should be professional.
Okay.
It should highlight the skills that you have, the professional experience that you have to fit that job. So there isn't one universal CV that could fit any industry or job you're applying to.
Okay.
And this is why on Bayt.com we give job seekers the option to have more than one CV, up to 5 CV actually.
Do trends actually change with CVs? Because when I was in university, they told us to put everything on one page.
Yeah.
So
there is no, depending on the career level you're in. So in entry level, I would say maximum a page and a half to 2. If you have like 5 to 6 years of experience, that should not go more than 2 pages. And the fact is not the length as much as the content that you put in that. And this is why we have a CV builder that actually defines which are the sections that you should fill in and what to fill in those sections. And we also have sample CVs for that. So once they've prepared that personal CV and that CV that fits the job, it should be very important to follow on that CV. So you upload your CV and then you have to make sure that that CV lands in the hands of the right person. So you refresh your CV, you update your CV, and this is also an option that we give, and you make sure that you are called for the interview, because a CV maximizes your chances for the interview. Right, but it doesn't give you the job. So you need to push for that and to make sure that face-to-face interview happens very quickly.
Right. I think another very common mistake that candidates generally make is the lack of preparation. Half the time they don't know what the company is about. Tell us a little about that.
Thank you so much for pointing this out, because this, this is a mistake that we often find, when a job seeker applies to a job, is going to, an interview not knowing, what the company does or what the industry is about or what is the job requirement, or how does his skills or his professional experience fit in that role. So it's very important to show this interest, vis-a-vis the employer, and that he feels you're interested in the job and that you've actually prepared and why you need to assert in him that you are the right candidate for the job.
what about what you wear to an interview? Is that important as well?
Definitely, Marwan.
Yeah?
Definitely.
I don't like wearing suits often, and that's why I'm not really a corporate world kind of guy. But
that's why you're not in the corporate world.
Unprofessional attire would not be recommended. So the first impression matters. It also shows how much you respect an employer. So we would recommend that you go for something not too casual, for something professional, conservative, crisp and clean. That really shows, how professional you are.
Okay.
What sort of behavior should the candidate have in order to impress the interviewer?
Okay. So it's, unprepared for an interview is also something, oftenly, that happens very commonly. And the lack of preparation affects the interview process and the flow, and again, the impression that you give. So you arrive late, okay? You don't know where the company is located. You can't find parking. So we would advise you to come 5 to 10 minutes earlier. That's always a better option than arriving 15 minutes late. Again, you should also be very friendly. I understand that people get a bit anxious and nervous during the interview, but if you tend to be friendly and very without exaggerating, what you can or you cannot do, it also comes across as somebody who's very relaxed and who would blend in perfectly well into the organization. Again, there are the fact that you don't know what you are going to do, or it's something you should also understand in terms of interview practicing. So practicing interview strategies is something an employer would also appreciate, when he faces somebody who's trained well, who knows what to answer, who has intelligent answers to the questions.
Wow, I wish I met Peggy like years ago when I just graduated from university, and maybe I would have taken some tips for those interviews.
Thank you, Marwan. I take this as a compliment.
Peggy, it's great to have you here on the show. Now it's time for Bayt.com's top jobs. Make sure you take those reference numbers down if you want to apply for these.
A leading restaurant management company is looking for an events manager with a degree in the relevant discipline and 3 years experience. A region's leading restaurant management services company is looking for a graphic designer with a degree in graphic design and 2 years experience. An international business events and information company is looking for an international corporate sales executive with a degree in the relevant discipline and over a year's experience. A leading multidisciplinary design firm is looking for a business development officer with a degree in the relevant discipline and 2 years experience.